This is the FA Cup preview show, and we're down to the last 8. Despite some heroic deeds in rounds gone by, just one Championship club remain among a host of top-tier teams. Success in the quarter-finals means a trip to Wembley. At this stage of the competition, everyone's thoughts are concentrated on glory. Coming up, we're at the Emirates as Arsenal plot a date with Manchester United. Bolton seek a fitting tribute for their own cup legend, Nat Lofthouse.
He's an outstanding man as well as a top-class footballer. And it'd be nice, as I say, to try and go back to Wembley.
Avram Grant is also aiming to return to Wembley, now with West Ham.
When you feel something and it's a good test, you want to test it again.
We reminisce on Tottenham's glory days in the Cup.
We talk with Ozzy. We must play at Wembley. We must win in that cup if we can.
And they're aiming for the big prize in our Cup quiz.
It's not a pen and pencil set, is it?
A great European night against Barcelona was a watershed for Arsene Wenger and Arsenal. The Gunners were well placed on 4 fronts. Anticipation of silverware was growing.
It's a goal!
Then, with a quarter-final date with Manchester United on the horizon, a propensity for defensive slip-ups was exposed in a draw at Leyton Orient. Worse followed a shock defeat against Birmingham in the League Cup final. Arsene Wenger's 6-year wait for a trophy goes on. Patience is the virtue most required at this grand old English club.
Wenger's a legend. You can't fault him for what he's done. As much as we haven't had a trophy for 6 years.
It's a big blow to the season, but hopefully we bounce back and go for the FA Cup.
We're still on for the treble, and we're massively on for the triple.
A near-sellout crowd gathered at the Emirates for the replay with Leyton Orient. The home fans were cheered soon enough when Marouane Chamakh opened the scoring. A hat-trick from Nicholas Bentner helped to pacify his critics. And Gaël Clichy's rare strike capped a night when Arsenal purged their latest Wembley demons.
We are on a fantastic run, and we just had on Sunday. We lost the game under special circumstances a little bit, but overall, if you look at the long run we have, it's quite positive.
So the talk remains upbeat, but a quarter-final date with Manchester United will be a truer test of their credentials. 3 years ago, Arsenal were crushed in the FA Cup, 4-0 at Old Trafford.
Why can't we beat Manchester United? Leeds beat them last year at Old Trafford, so why can't we beat them?
Sammy Nelson knows what it's like to beat Manchester United on the biggest stage of all. The left-back was a member of the 1979 Cup-winning side.
So 1 minute you're actually looking at the step thinking we're going to be walking up those steps, and then back to 2-0 within a couple of minutes. And looking at extra time when we kicked off and scored the 3rd goal. You know, tremendous spirit in the team, and you know, we fully deserved it anyway.
Alan Sunderland's late goal clinched a memorable win for Arsenal, a day that Nelson rates as his best in football. And the former Gunner is backing his men again.
Well, I would say we've got lots of quality at Arsenal, and obviously they've got quality in some of their players as well. Manchester may seem to have the edge on actually winning things without playing well. I would think that from a footballing perspective, we are a much better football side. There is a lot of commitment in that side, make no mistake, and the experience they're getting from it, they'll be better for it.
Arsenal could be without both Cesc Fabregas and Robin van Persie for the trip to Old Trafford. Untimely problems that will test Wenger's squad.
Everybody's a leader in the team. They all show commitment, they all have to. We're not the only club that have injuries, and you've just got to get on with it. And also what it does, it actually brings other people through from the squad. And I think this is an opportunity for some of them to come along and say, yeah, I want to be part of this. We can do it. It's not a major problem to beat them, because the players they're up for it. Make no mistake.
Before we wrap up round 5, Everton served up a big shock in round 4 at holders Chelsea. Frank Lampard's goal seemed to have won the tie. But with a minute left in extra time, Leighton Baines equalised with an exquisite free kick. There were, of course, heroes and villains in the penalty shootout. Ashley Cole's miss gave Everton captain Phil Neville centre stage. He gleefully inflicted Chelsea's first FA Cup defeat in 3 years. 9 days later, the Toffees faced Reading under the watchful gaze of former Cup winner Howard Kendall. And all that good work was undone by Matt Mills.
Oh my goodness me, they have scored, and it's Mills!
Calamity for Everton.
We were expecting much better with a home tie after doing so well in the last round, and we weren't able to make it count.
We knew what we had to do, but we had a game plan, and the players carried it through, and we played with quality as well.
Crawley's big day at Manchester United started predictably, but the non-leaguers were not to be overawed and came so close to a sensational equaliser.
Unintentional flick on a Brody! Oh, can you believe that?
United through, just.
It's Crawley's day, there's no doubt about that. And probably even if we win 5-0, it's still going to be Crawley's day. They got the bit between their teeth, Crawley, give them all the credit. They deserve to draw it again.
I'm proud of the players. Everyone that support us today were incredible. And we've now got a job to do and going to concentrate on trying to win a difficult league.
Birmingham City are relishing the cup competitions this season. Sheffield Wednesday's resistance was broken early on by Jean Beausejour. 2 more were added to the total. Obafemi Martins was the pick. The celebration wasn't bad either. Gus Poyet's Brighton were expected to cause Stoke some problems, but the Premier League side set the standard early on. John Carew finishing off from a trademark Rory Delap long throw. It got worse for Gus. Jonathan Walters and Ryan Shawcross completing a comfortable afternoon's work for Tony Pulis's men.
Another set piece, another goal. Stoke are rampant and the 3 goals clear in round 5.
We really set our stall out to win. I think it's the first time in the club's history that it's had consecutive quarter-final appearances in the FA Cup. So that's great credit to our players again.
Bolton caused a minor surprise, winning 1-0 at Fulham, Ivan Klasnic scoring the only goal. West Ham dealt Burnley a blow under the Upton Park lights. Thomas Hitzelsberger and Carlton Cole claiming the night's best goals in a convincing 5-1 win. Manchester City eased past a weakened Aston Villa at Eastlands. Just 5 minutes in, Yaya Toure scored. City were to savour a comfortable passage after needing replays in previous rounds. Mario Balotelli's fine strike made it 2-0. David Silva slotted in number 3. So, on to the draw, and just the 4 ties to be decided.
Number 7.
Number 5.
The tie of the round pits Giants Manchester United with the capital's most successful club, Arsenal. Birmingham enjoy home comforts again against Bolton. West Ham travel to Stoke. More on these ties later in the show. And Manchester City take on the sole non-Premier League representative, Championship side, Reading. It's always a trip down memory lane when Bolton Wanderers start doing well in the FA Cup. And nostalgia for Bolton usually starts with one man, Nat Lofthouse, who passed away this year. Lofthouse scored twice against Manchester United in the 1958 Cup final, but gave so much more to his town.
What he brought to this football club, he just put Bolton Wanderers on the map in that era. And he was such a proud person to play for Bolton Wanderers. Even though he played 33 games for England and scored 30 goals, his proudest moment was bringing the FA Cup home to the people of Bolton in 1958.
It was sad for us all, but equally I think it's important that we remember everything that Nat brought to the football club, and that's something that's to be cherished and remembered fondly, because he was an outstanding man, as well as a top-class footballer. And it'd be nice, as I say, to try and go back to Wembley, and the boys will do everything they can to try and furnish the club with that opportunity.
They may have won the Cup 4 times in their proud history, but it's been 53 years since Lofthouse lifted the trophy for Bolton Wanderers. Resurrecting this old affinity with the competition is high on Owen Coyle's agenda.
The FA Cup, as we know, and I certainly believe, is the best national cup competition in world football. Globally, the coverage is incredible and there's a lot of prestige involved. There's a special feeling attached to the FA Cup and that's why we'll do everything we can to go further.
In the third round this year, Wanderers completed a late win against York City before knocking out Wigan and Fulham. So in the last 8, is it time to believe in the FA Cup dream?
It's not been easy to get where we are so far, and we've got another difficult game against Birmingham, and then, you know, if we do get to the semi-finals, you know, if you get a decent draw, then who knows. But you know, you start to dream a little bit now. You're getting sort of to the business end now with sort of only 8 teams left, so it's one the lads and the whole sort of town are looking forward to, I think.
Bolton know the road to Wembley is still tough. Birmingham City, with the League Cup now in their cabinet, will be hungry for more.
Having sampled the beauty of winning a cup, they'll want more of that. So it certainly won't take the edge. If anything, I think they'll be more focused and more determined. Home and away, we always go to win matches, and that'll be how we'll set about it. We'll be very positive. We'll be trying to win the tie at the first time of asking, as I would imagine Alex will as well. That's why I think it's got the makings of a terrific cup tie. Both teams going all out to win the match.
And you wouldn't bet against Bolton, who've spent this season in the top half of the Premier League, not fighting relegation. The manager has made his mark.
His man management skills are absolutely amazing. He gets the best out of players, and he wants people to go out and show that on a Saturday, show what they can do. He's a very ambitious guy, and I think that's something that you can't help be affected by when you're surrounded by that in this sort of environment.
When it comes to great moments in the FA Cup, Coyle knows what he's talking about. He's been there and done it, back in 1994, for Bolton Wanderers.
We were a championship side, as it's known at this moment in time, and with some terrific results on that cup journey. I mean, the first round we were very nearly knocked out by Gretna. We then went on to knock out Arsenal, who were the holders, Everton, Aston Villa, all from the Premier League at the time. Here were we, a championship side that could be knocked out to a non-league side in the first round, but we managed to overcome them later on and then go on to achieve, you know, some terrific results against elite clubs. So I think for me that sums up the FA Cup, the magic that's involved with it.
And an FA Cup pedigree belongs to striker and talismanic captain Kevin Davies. In 1997, his third-tier Chesterfield side pushed Premier League Middlesbrough to a semi-final replay. Davies has grown up to be a feared, respected centre-forward in the traditional Bolton mould.
As a manager, I feel very fortunate and very privileged to have Kevin Davies not only as a player at the football club, but as my captain. He's a fantastic player, pivotal to everything we do at the football club, and as I say, a real leader both on and off the park. An integral part of Bolton Wanderers, and always will be, and as I say, very fortunate to have a player of that ilk at our football club.
So can Captain Kevin lead his side to Wembley? That will be the talk around Bolton for the next few days. A victory against Birmingham will get them there, for a semi-final at least. But how about the Wanderers going all the way this year? If they manage that, it would be the perfectly timed triumph.
Living in the town now sort of in the last 8, people in the town are sort of saying let's do it for Nat, really. Obviously him passing away this year and sort of lifting the cup for Bolton, it'd be a great way and a great tribute to a great man. And it'd be amazing to get to the final, and obviously being captain to lead them out, it'd be an amazing day, and to go on and win it would be absolutely amazing. But like I say, we've got hard work to do between then and then.
Nat loved the FA Cup, hated it when we got knocked out early on. So there is that affinity with the FA Cup. I think Nat would be looking down on us if we made it to Wembley, and he'd be there making sure that the lads bring the cup back home to the fans of Bolton.
Still to come, Tottenham's glorious cup memories. Can West Ham continue their fine cup form at Stoke?
When everybody's fit and we are playing good, we are hard to beat, and this is our target.
And they're head-to-head in our cup quiz. The FA Cup's third most successful club are Tottenham Hotspur. The story began in 1901 when, as a non-league club, they broke the northern stranglehold on the trophy. Pioneers of association football in the country's capital, they were again victorious in 1921, still London's only cup winners. 40 years would elapse until further glory. In 1961, this innovative club, already champions, claimed the century's first league and cup double. Bobby Smith and Terry Dyson scored as Leicester were beaten 2-0. Tottenham set standards, fluid passing with a strong emphasis on style, and a year later Burnley were beaten 3-1. Jimmy Greaves and Bobby Smith again amongst the goals. A year later, Spurs became the first English team to win a European trophy. In 1967 came Cup number 5, Jimmy Robertson and Frank Saul scoring to beat Chelsea 2-1. But a barren period in the 70s called for another dose of that Tottenham pioneering spirit. In 1978, the arrival of 2 World Cup winning Argentinians caused a sensation. More glory for Spurs would follow.
I wanted to play in Europe, Ricky wanted to play in Europe as well. But when I say Europe, I was thinking about Spain, I was thinking about France, Italy, say. It never crossed our mind, England, never.
We arrived here with us in 78. We started hear about the FA Cup and the traditional cup in England, and the final is Wembley, and we talked with Ozzy. We must play at Wembley, we must win in that cup if we can.
In 1981, Ozzy and Ricky had their chance. But Manchester City went 1-0 up, thanks to a Tommy Hutchinson header.
I'm saying that the 2 games basically was the story of Ricky Piller, really. He played very, very bad in the first game. He was substituted, and everybody remember him with so long Wembley walk to the dressing room. He didn't stay watching the game and so on, so that was a very, very sad picture.
I remember very disappointed with the manager take me off, and I walk in the dog track, you know, very, very unhappy. I hear about Tottenham score and draw. My confidence come back, say we have another chance.
5 days later, I think a lot of questions that he was going to play or not. People decided to go for him again, and Ricky repaid with 2 goals, not 1 but 2, and one of the 2 goals was absolutely magnificent, probably the best goal ever scored in Wembley in a cup final.
The first one was very easy, you know, this is lucky goal, because the ball is rebounds to the keeper, the ball was there. Only I have to put in the net. The winning goal was my dream. I can't remember how I start, how I finish, you know. And when I see the ball in the net, it was brilliant, because the club by Ozzy and me, you know, and this is the effort to play something back.
Ricky's winner helped Spurs win one of the all-time great finals 3-2. A year later, war between Argentina and England meant both missed the 1982 Cup final. Again, Tottenham prevailed, Glenn Hoddle's penalty seeing off QPR. 9 years later, Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest took an early lead, thanks to Stuart Pearce's brilliant free kick. But Tottenham are the cup specialists. The club has lost 1 FA Cup final. Paul Stewart equalised, and Clough's side were beaten in extra time when Des Walker headed into his own net. Cup number 8 for a club forever linked with some of the old trophy's most magical moments.
I never forget, for me it's one of the highlights in my career, and I'm very pleased to be in the history of the FA Cup.
West Ham United, a club steeped in the tradition of the English game. Synonymous with the home of football, legends that once graced the Wembley turf now preside over it. The cup wins are consigned to yesteryear, but current boss Avram Grant has his own affinity with Wembley.
When you say Wembley all over the world, it's like a temple of the football.
Last year, under near impossible circumstances, Grant came so close to leading relegated Portsmouth to FA Cup glory.
It was amazing. It was something that I cannot describe even. I was so happy to see so many people happy when it was a difficult time for them.
West Ham have a proud cup history, but the parallels with Portsmouth and last season are vivid. Grant's team find themselves embroiled in a relegation battle, despite their impressive cup run.
Until now in the cup, maybe every game that we won the league game after. So players like to feel good, especially when you are in the bottom.
We've been performing outstanding during the cup, in every cup games that we've been playing this season, and it has really given us more confidence to be able to push on in the Premier League.
Winning mentality you can build, you can develop. I think to build it is to want to win every game. It doesn't matter if it's a cup or any other game, and so we was very serious in any game.
So far, the cup run has seen 3 successive home wins, but a tougher prospect awaits. Round 5's 5-1 win over Burnley set up a tie at Stoke.
It's not easy to play against Stoke because Stoke is a very tough team. They know to play football, they know to defend, they are good in some areas, they are very good.
We all know how Stoke, their style of football, it's going to be pretty tough for us, and the coaches are working very hard towards that to make sure that we were very, very prepared to play the game against Stoke.
Attack might prove the best form of defence at the Britannia, and Victor Urbina would love to replicate the form he displayed in round 4.
It's a good memory. My first hat-trick in English football. It was a good feeling for me, and it's a dream come true for me as a young kid. I used to, dream to play in the FA Cup, and it's a great privilege for me, and I'm happy to be in the competition.
If the young Nigerian can fire the hammers to Wembley, it will mean a chance to emulate his idol.
It's going to be a great achievement if I could be able to do what King Kanu has done, because that's what we call him. He's a legend to every one of us. But I have to work hard for that and make sure that I work for my team. It's not a player don't win a game, it's a team.
They came desperately close in 2006, but it's been 30 years since West Ham's last trophy. The club will soon move to the new London Olympic Stadium, the platform for a new era.
As my father always said, don't look at the past, look forward. So remember the past. It was good tradition, it's a good club. But also we want to build something new that will be good, and we want to build it step by step, because I believe that if you build it step by step, you create a lot of stability. But like it's happened in Arsenal, and I know that even Chelsea and others are looking for a new stadium, it's part of the steps forward. I think it's very exciting.
The future looks bright, but Grant is focused on the present. Success at Wembley, not relegation.
When you come to Wembley and you come to the semi-final, it's something different in there. I cannot even describe it. So, when you feel something and it's a good test, you want to test it again. But also we need to remember that for Stoke, like West Ham, to come to the semi-final is big, big achievement. So each one of us will want the same, but I hope we will win.
Finally, time for our cup quiz. And question 1. Crawley were the last non-league representatives in this season's competition, but can you name the last non-league team to win the cup?
I know, I read it.
Corinthian Casuals.
No, I know it, I forgot.
It's a good guess, wasn't it?
Tottenham.
It's not Tottenham, is it?
It is, Sammy. Spurs won the cup in 1901 whilst in the Southern League. Question 2. In which decade did Bolton Wanderers dominate the FA Cup?
How can I know?
1920s.
50s.
Sammy's correct. David Jack was the Trotters' hero back in the 1920s when they won the cup 3 times. The most famous, the White Horse final, Wembley's first. Question 3. Arsenal and Manchester United have contested 2 finals. Name the years.
I know one of the games was 3-2. It was 2-0 to Arsenal. Man United made 2-2.
Do you want the scores? Penalty kicks?
78, 77, 72, 71.
2005 and 1979.
74.
After.
75.
After.
76.
After.
77.
After.
78.
After.
79.
Sorry, Avram, valiant effort, but too many guesses. The Gunners won in 1979 and in 2005, when they won on penalties. And for question 4, which final was the last to be decided on spot kicks?
Last year it was Portsmouth, Chelsea. Before this it was Chelsea.
Gosh, I don't think it was last year. Oh.
But it was not in Wembley.
Oh, yeah.
When Gerrard scored in the last moment.
Chelsea won it last year, no, when penalty kicks there. Oh, there were, Chelsea was it 2008.
I think Liverpool against West Ham, no?
Correct, Avram. Liverpool beat West Ham in 2006 via the dreaded penalty shootout. Finally, question 5, and in what year did West Ham first win the FA Cup?
That was in 1964.
64, I think.
Correct. The Hammers' first success was in 1964, Ronnie Boyce's last-minute goal beating Preston, Bobby Moore lifting the trophy. All square, but the budget doesn't quite stretch to a prize, I'm afraid, Sammy.
So, pen and pencil set, was it?
That's all for now. We're down to the last 8 in the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON. Wembley is just one step further. Glory just 2 wins away for our quarter-final contenders.